Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. As my microphone is not very tight on this, welcome back to the Great Gibraltar Draft with Hound Dogs. Today we will be taking on Lyon in the group stage of the Champions League, because we could finish in third. Now, how that's happened, I'll show you now, so you get a bit of an idea as to actually what's gone on in the group stage so far. So after our 3-0 loss to Bayern Munich, we did change up formation, which led to a 1-0 win against Lyon in the 91st minute, Karol getting a volley to give us 3 points, our first 3 points in the Champions League. We then had a 3-0 loss to Man United away from home at Old Trafford. It wasn't surprising. We kind of somewhat expected a loss here. And to kind of match the score against Bayern Munich, it's not too bad for us. They got one in the first half, and we did pretty well to hold on for the majority of that. In the second half, they did get a couple more. Rashford providing for Williams for the first in the second half, and then their third and final goal came in the 68th minute as Soler, working his way down that right hand side with Bruno Fernandes, was able to get some space, fired it low across the box, beating the keeper at the near post. In the return leg though, things were very different. We were able to get a 2-2 draw against Man United at home. We even took the lead, Pereira de Sá dispatching from a ball from Saranic, who delivered very nicely. They did manage to get the lead though in the first half. Bruno Fernandes and Mariba working well. It then got played through to Rashford to score with a little dink. That levelled things, and like I say, they did manage to take the lead in the first half to make it 2-1 from a Bruno Fernandes free kick, which was very nicely struck. But in the second half, we did manage to hold on, and we looked pretty good for it as well, I think, for a point. A switch of play to Chebozo allowed him to drive on against his man, getting a ball across to Rangel, who was just open in the box, that made it 2-2. So that is where we're at with regards to the Champions League. A fantastic point against Man United and a late winner against Lyon has given us a fantastic opportunity of coming in third. First place is, getting through to the next round is probably a little way off, as we'd probably have to win the next 2 games and hope that Man United don't beat Lyon, which isn't likely. So it'll be ending up being us or Lyon that goes through. If we can at least draw here, we're through into the Europa League knockouts. Otherwise, it will be going down to the final game against Bayern Munich, which will be a tough one, to be honest. Now, looking in the league table, we are 1 game behind or got a game in hand against Mons Kalp. We're 3 points behind them. I think we're still good for the season. We did get a loss in the league against Lynx, but again, we were probably good for a win. We just didn't perform as well as we know we can. Otherwise, we looked pretty solid. We're through in the next round of the Pepe Reyes Cup. We've got the Intermediate Cup against Europa FC as well, coming up as well with that. So a few more trophies, possibilities for us as well. Transfer-wise, there has been a couple of transfers. Now, we've obviously discussed previously a few of them, but in this one we got Fatih Pelivan has been sold to Lincoln. He was going to be our left back, basically, wasn't he? That was what we were kind of looking at him for, but they offered us 800k, and I kind of couldn't say no. It was a profit on what we had him for, and I don't think he's actually going to be that great in any of these positions, so I was kind of quite happy for him to go. I wasn't too bothered. We have also loaned out Thomas Theron. He wanted game time. I thought it would be good to get him game time, and hopefully he can come in to our new formation, because we have got one of those new formations. Now, we have also made a couple of signings elsewhere as well. One of those being Vladimir Ursu. Probably not the best signing. I kind of panic bought, I'll be honest, a left back from Benfica, 20 years old, Moldovan international. So, he's got experience, but nothing special. We did bring in Ethan Erhahon, who've been keeping an eye on. 115,000 from Celtic, 25 years old, pretty well-rounded, can play it in centre midfield or at left back, left wing backs kind of role, which I think is good cover sort of player. And we've also signed Calvin Langley from Europa FC for 400k. He is basically the goalkeeper for Gibraltar at the moment. And I thought having a goalkeeper who is Gibraltar and homegrown could be great. And he's half decent as well. Got a bit of room to develop along with that, and already looks okay. So certainly a player that I'm hoping will kind of be the backup to El Diaby for kind of the future to come. But with that said, let's get into today's game. It's going to be a tough one, but if we can get a point from it, will look great. This is the formation we've moved to, so it's basically the same kind of roles, but we've just pushed the wing backs on and the ball winning midfielder has dropped right into centre back as a cover. So not much really change in there, but there is changes that have been made. Now, looking at the lineup, we'll probably stick with this, with Diaby in goal, Mbayamba, Harpas and Murray at the back, El Tayeb and Soler on either side, Ivan Rangel and Pereira de Sá in midfield, Saranic, Chibozo and Romero up top. But we will swap those over because I like to have Pereira de Sá as that box-to-box player. Diarasuba has been, I believe he is our top goal scorer, but he's not been great. And so it kind of shows that this season we've kind of been just coasting, which isn't fantastic. But hopefully, as long as we do well in the big games, like this one today, it should be fine. They've got a few good players in there, though, Musa being one of them, and Jonathan Tah as well. So they're not an easy side to beat, and we managed to do so late on in the game in the first one. We are away from home this time, though, so it will be a tough game to kind of deal with. Now, if we get a point, like I say, we're already in Europa League place, so there's no concerns there. But there's only one way to find out if we actually make it, and that is to see how we get on today. Soler taking a throw in, though, early on, 10 minutes in, back to Murray, and he looks out wide again. We have also converted the right winger. Saranic will be playing as an inverted winger rather than an out-and-out, so he will be cutting in. That gives the space for El Tayeb to get round on that side, but that's a poor clearance as it comes to Correa. Musa driving forward here into the box. He shoots. El Diaby does match that and poke it out for a corner, but I think it was his mistake initially that got us into that trouble, and we're still not out of it yet with this corner, as Collado will whip that in. It is cleared by Mbayama, who gets up well to head that away, but they will be coming straight back at us with Lindstrom coming down this right hand side. He's not been stopped, and the ball is played in, but Murray cuts that out and Saranic clears long. But it will be them coming. I mean, it's the highlight that's never ending by the looks of things. El Tayeb, though, here we go on the right hand side, plays it forward to Saranic. Can we get a bit of passing going, a bit of pass and move in the side? Now, one thing I have noticed is when we do play this kind of formation, I think what we'll end up doing is swapping between this formation and the 4-3-3. 4-3-3 for league games, this for maybe Champions League and that, because it's worked better than the 4-3-3 has in the Champions League. I think because we have a lot of pressing, and even from our midfielders, so that kind of causes some issues for teams as they're also getting forward really high up the pitch. Obviously, if they're a good side, they should be able to just pass it around us. But for those sides that are bit on the edge, sometimes we can kind of catch them out and get something to happen. But it will be Leon coming forward here for Botta into Collado, and it looks like it might be a penalty as maybe Soler's fouled him. It didn't look much in it as the ball came in there, but it will be a penalty kick, I expect, as it is being looked at. But I mean, we're only 15 minutes in and it's all kicking off. Yep, there's a penalty. Can El Diaby do us a massive one and save this and keep us in the game still at 0-0? We will have to see. Who is it setting up? Belotti stepping it up, the Italian, and it is saved. El Diaby, it's a poor penalty, and El Diaby does really well there to cut that out and save that. Pokes it wide enough to allow us to get onto it, and we will be breaking now as Maximiliano Romero gets onto that ball that's been cleared as he looks to hold that up really nicely. It's a ball over the top to Rangel, who is through, but he has been pushed out wide by Ginter with a great challenge, and that does go out for a throw-in for us. But I mean, the counter's quite nice, but what a save. That penalty save has truly kept us in the hunt for that Europa place, which would be great to have, because I mean that is exactly what we need. And we could, you never know. I feel like if we get into the Europa League, there's every chance we could win that. I'm just feeling positive about it. That's what I'm saying. But it is Paqueta playing it on the edge to Correa, who plays it back to Paqueta into Musa. They're keeping the ball nicely on the edge here, as we are trying our best to kind of shut them out. Collado coming in, 10 minutes to go till half time as the ball's played through to Lindstrom. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper, and El Diaby is there again to save that one. What a save once again, stopping any goal threat from coming to fruition as Collado looks to take this corner. It's delivered in. Paqueta goes up, but it is headed clear again by Mbayama, who's done very well in the air so far today. Collado, though, has got plenty of time to find someone, but just plays it straight to Mbayama. Romero should be able to get to that one, and he's looking to burst down this right-hand side. He is our captain for today's game, and hopefully he's going to be leading by example up the top. Saranic's ball is poor. The idea was great, finding Rangel, making that late drive into the box, but it wasn't good enough, as it is easily cut out in the end. For Botta on the left-hand side, finding Lindstrom, then played inside to Belotti, who's going to look to turn maybe. No, plays it back to Paqueta. Rangel does well to cut that out, and Romero's looking to burst here. Finds Chibozo, who's through on goal. Can he put this one away? As the defenders are coming round him, he took maybe a bit too much time thinking about what he was going to do, but the ball's come back in. Saranic has gone up and isn't able to head it, but ends up a good challenge by the defender, but it was gifted to him by Chibozo, who just didn't make the decision that was needed to be made. But we make it to half time. Luck probably on our side after a good penalty save as well. But I think I'm okay with that half. That's not as awful as it could be. What we will do is take Saranic off. Chiboza will go on the right-hand side and Carroll will come on the left. See if he can make something happen. He got the goal in the first time we played them at home, but will he be able to get one here? And Mbayama goes up for the header from a free kick, but it is cleared, and Lindstrom will look to bring the ball forward now, breaking into our half. Belotti looking for it, but it is cut out well by Soler, and El Tayeb receives it and drives forward. Chibozo now back to Mbayama. He's got a bit of time there to find someone. Hard pass now. The Australian looking for a ball over the top, but it is easily defended by Ginter. No real concerns there as Silvera is on the ball. I've only just realised I'm not actually wearing my headphones, so it feels really weird doing this, and my head looks weird in the box. But Pereira de Sá plays the ball through to Romero. Can Maximiliano Romero do something here? It's a long-range effort, and it looks like it came off the bar. So it's gone out for actually a goal kick, but quite the strike. He knew he didn't have the pace on the defender, so he took it early, and I mean, he nearly grabbed something there for us as we look to go into the final half an hour in a decent position. Looking at what we've got here, is there any sort of changes we should look to make at this stage? Maybe Kingsley Michael could come on for Pereira de Sá just to give us some legs there. Otherwise, we'll be probably leaving that one. Torben Carlson, we have been looking to train as a wing-back, as obviously our wing-backs are very crucial in going forward. He's a very good pacey winger, so hopefully that is influenced. But El Tayeb's ball in, cleared by Ginter, and Mbayama should get there and look out wide again to El Tayeb, who's got another chance to deliver this, but he's coming right inside on his right foot, shoots. I mean, it's a tame effort at best, and it just rolls into Silvera's arms in the end. 20 minutes ago with a free kick for Leon now. It's Ginter with the header. I mean, that is a free header. No one is anywhere near him, and he smashed it off the bar. I don't know. I think that was a goal kick that the lino was pointing for. I was a little bit confused that he was maybe pointing for offside. I wasn't quite sure how that would have worked. But 10 minutes to go. We might need to look to make us up again, just to try and slow things down once more. Here, what are we going to look to do? Vitinho maybe coming on in midfield. Andre Wisdom. We'll bring Andre on. A bit of experience for Hassan El Tayeb at that wing back role as Harpass looks to take this free kick. Nothing stupid now, guys, as we are in a good position so far. Romero coming forward, receives it well and finds Soler, who's got loads of space on this left hand side. Leon know they have to go for it, so they're pushing players forward. Falls to Rangel, and there you go. Although it looks like maybe an offside decision. I mean, it was a slow trickling ball into the box. It was a Soler in acres of space. Could we have nicked it at the def? We certainly looked like we might have. Romero doing very well here, finding Soler on this left hand side. No one's near him. He takes a touch, fires it across, and Rangel arriving late in the box again, just tapping it home. I think he's been a great signing coming in at the beginning of the season after us signing him the season before. But wow, couple of minutes to go. Could this be it? Have we booked our place into the next round? Chibozo playing it back to Wisdom and then into Mbayama. We're keeping the ball here. Kingsley into Romero, round the corner to Chebozo, who's ball over the top, is looking for Rangel again, who's volleyed it, and it's only just gone past the post. He was up for a second there, didn't quite make it, as Romero's going to go up for this one and cause havoc. Carroll not able to get there, but that's fine, because we've got a minute to go. All we have to do is see it out now, which I think we could absolutely do without a problem. And Soler, we're looking like we could score again at this stage. Throw in into Rangel, then looks back to Murray. He's going to play it across to Harpass. We're going to keep this ball as the ball's launched long. Chebozo's not getting anywhere near that as Frabotta receives it. He looks down the line to Collado. Then Connolly up top. Back to Ginter in defence. He's been very solid for him today and had a great opportunity from that corner when he hit the bar. And, they've had a penalty as well when you think about it. It's quite the game they've had. Can we just hold off the last 15 seconds as the ball's crossed in and Bayamba heads clear, but it looks like there's a foul in the middle of the pitch. Kingsley Michaels looks to have tripped someone, pushed someone over. I don't know what was going on there, but the ball's delivered in. Correa's nowhere near it, and LDRB is going to claim that, and that is surely going to be it for us in this half, or in this game I should say. Ready for that. There you go. There it is. That is 1-0. We've managed to do it again late on, nicking the win, but it works. We're obviously doing something right. 7 point. If we get something off Bayern Munich, we could end up above United. I don't think that's going to happen. But we have secured Europa League football, which is amazing stuff. We'll come back at the stage where we will see whether we've got it or not, and at what competition we'll be playing our next round game in, the knockout rounds. But because I don't need to show you the Bayern game. I think we know all what's going to happen there. If anything does happen, you'll see. Reece White is a player that I have been looking at. Again, another Gibraltar player, young Gibraltar player that I wanted to bring in maybe as a kind of a backup striker. Nothing spectacular, but he's Gibraltar. That's kind of my feeling. I want to try and get these players in. It's a lot of wages, but I'm kind of thinking, does it really matter? We've got shed loads of money. Maybe just knocking down a couple of hundred if we can. Maybe 200. Go to 1,000. Yeah, there you go. Great. 1,500. We'll see if that goes through and works. But what a win. 2.39 million in the bag. Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. LDRB is better than Gianluigi Donnarumma. Is he, though? I got a funny feeling he might not be. If we just compare the two, it's quite clear that I probably would prefer Gianluigi Donnarumma. 27 years old, £255 million at worst, 7 million for LDRB, which I don't think is too bad for a Saudi Arabian who's, he's one of their best players in the team. He's like a top player for them. Starts every week, and he's actually their captain. So, that's not bad going. Anyway, we will leave it there. We'll obviously come back a bit later on when we find out which one will be in Europa League or Champions League knockouts. But we've made the knockouts, which is the main thing. With that said, we'll leave it. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, I will catch you in the next one.